the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, President Tinubu tasks security and intelligence agencies to share information as clash left one person dead and military vehicle burnt in Jos. Court restrains NLC from embarking on strikes, labor leaders in Aso Rock to resume negotiation. Court fines Festus Keyamo 10 million naira for frivolous corruption suit against Atiku Abubakar. And on the foreign scene, at least 7 schoolgirls drown after canoe sinks in Guinea. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Eugenia Abu. President Bola Tinubu has charged security agencies in the country to share information in order to combat the negative effects of terrorism. The president said this on Monday during a tour of the new office of the National Security Advisor and facilities in the National Terrorism Center in Abuja. He said hoarding such resources would be counterproductive in the fight against the menace. The president said his administration recognized the relationship between security and economic revival, prosperity, and development. In his remarks, the National Security Advisor, retired Major General Babagana Monguno, thanked the president for making the visit his first engagement outside the villa. Monguno pledged the commitment and dedication of the office to ensure that the president realized his promises on security to the people.
The effort of the entire armed forces of this country must be put together in a way that will form one single focus on securing the country. We must focus on one tunnel, coordinate, share the information, share the intelligence, coordinate and work harder. Then you cannot hoard those information.
I urge you, Mr. President, not to relent in the support you've been giving us psychologically as a result of the meeting we had with you on Thursday of last week. And we are compelled to note that all the agencies have started working assiduously towards realizing your objective. Mr. President, you have a hard day and a long day ahead of you.
In the meantime, one person has been reported dead and another critically injured as youths clashed with the military at a checkpoint in Maraban Jumaa area of Jos South local government area of Plateau State. The incident, which occurred on Monday, also caused panic in the area, with people scampering to safety until the area was completely deserted. Daily Trust reporter in Jos, Dixon Adama, gives an update.
What actually happened today was a clash between youths and other residents of Malaban Jama in Jos South local government area of Plateau State and the operatives of Operation Safe Haven, who are at the checkpoint by Malaban Jama. So the incident was that the youths and the mourners took the course of a relative from Zawan. Zawan still in Jos South, and we're heading to Kuru for burial. And during such burial, there's always a procession, and you see lots of youths on the motorcycle, and the others will be going with vehicles and all of that. So when they approach the checkpoint, then the military officer said those on bike should come down and probably stop the bike and roll it past them. Then when they roll past them, then they can start and move ahead. But the youths were trying to negotiate with the military, citing the example that they are going for burial and that they shall let them pass. But along the line, they could not come to terms, and that led to some kind of disagreement, and the crisis erupted, and gunshots were heard, and led to the loss of one of the youths. Then the other was critically injured. And thereafter, the youths also tried demonstrating, and some vehicles were damaged, including that of the military, as well as some properties along the line were damaged. Then the women later came out in solidarity protest, and they protested between the highway of Zawan to Maraban Jama. 2 people were actually shot, and then one person died instantly. Then rumor had it that the other victim equally died, but we later confirmed that he didn't die, and it's in a critical situation, but he's alive. One of the public secretary, in the person of Juan Tenlong, called for immediate compensation of 100 million for the disease, while 10 million should be for the injured, and 10 million as well for the property destroyed. Actually, I've been trying to reach out to the military. The spokesperson has been away, and we were not able to really get reaction. And the senior officer, the military senior officer, who said he is not the he's not the one to actually speak on the issue. So, however, things will get clearer tomorrow, and they should be able to have a statement from the military.
Trust TV correspondent Dixon Adama bringing us up to date on the ongoing skirmishes in Jos between the military and the youth. Ongoing demolition of buildings constructed or sold by the immediate past administration of Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, considered illegal by Governor Abba Kabir, is taking another dimension in Kano as youth suspected to be thugs are using the opportunity to loot valuables belonging to shop owners. Idris Jibrin has that update.
Shortly after his inauguration, Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf promised to reacquire government properties believed to have been sold illegally by the former administration of Abdullahi Ganduje, the result of which led to various demolition exercises less than a week since the inauguration. However, traders in Kano are worried about the future of the state economic activities. Honestly, there is no logic in this demolition exercise. As far as I know, there are over 10,000 people who are benefiting in one way or the other from different kind of businesses around this area. Now, where do you want all these people to go now that you have taken away their means of livelihood? Look at the situation that people are in currently. Now, if you destroy this place, where do you want them to turn to? What do you expect them to do? 1,000 naira now is not even enough to sustain your life in a day, talk less of something less than that. According to shop owners in Kantunkwari Textile Market, there is no prior notice from government concerning the demolition exercise, which is why most of them could not remove their goods. Honestly, they have not given us any notice. Now, like you can see, that those shops close to the White House, I have 3 shops there. But nobody gave me notice. I only heard it on social media, and I heard people talking that those of us who own shops around Kantunkwari should move. So yesterday, I brought some boys who helped me to remove all my goods before the destruction. Traders believes that destroying buildings like this could affect economic activities around the affected areas, especially now that they have not been provided with any other alternative. Honestly, what the state government did here is bad. Most of us here, this is the only way we used to get food and eat. Now that they have taken away everything we have, most of us will go back to taking drugs and even stealing. Only God knows what many of us will go and do. We did not elect this government to do this thing to us. We elected them to bring good for the people of Kano State. Now this is what they are creating for us. It is absolutely wrong. Meanwhile, youth suspected to be thugs are seen looting building materials across all the places demolished by the government. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, on Monday described the proposed industrial action against fuel subsidy removal as an emerging threat capable of thwarting the current peace and stability of Nigeria's democracy. Baba, who spoke at Force Headquarters, Abuja, during a strategic meeting with other top cops of the force, vowed that he and his team, Deputy Inspector Generals, Assistant Inspector Generals, and Commissioners of Police would work together and would not rest on their oars while the internal security of the country is jeopardized. The police chief said the resolve was on the heels of growing security challenges in the country, adding that at the moment, a total of 3,619 suspects have been arrested for their participation in various crimes across the country between January and May 2023. According to him, 316 victims of kidnapping were rescued during the same period, while 486 assorted firearms consisting of AK-47 rifles and locally fabricated automatic weapons were recovered. The Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, has declared an industrial action over the removal of fuel subsidy. The pump price of fuel tripled after President Bola Tinubu declared that fuel subsidy was gone. In a statement, JUSUN's General Secretary, M.G. Akwashiki, directed all branches and chapters of the union to begin nationwide mobilization and withdrawal of service. The statement says the action followed a decision of the National Executive Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress at her meeting on 2nd of June 2023 over the increase in the pump price of a premium motor spirit by the federal government through the NNPCL. It urged all zonal vice presidents to coordinate their zones by ensuring that branch and chapters chairmen mobilize their members for total compliance. As the Nigerian Labour Congress gears up to embark on an industrial action on Wednesday to protest the implementation of subsidy removal by the federal government, residents of Jos, the Plateau State capital, are expressing worry over the proposed strike, saying the action will put Nigerians into more hardship. Some of the residents who spoke to Trust TV say though they will experience difficulties during the period, the action will pressurize government to do the needful. Adu Musa completes the story.
The proposed strike action by Labour leaders came after the recent pronouncement by the federal government that the subsidy on fuel has been removed. This resulted to an adjustment in the price of petrol, which has officially jacked to nearly 600 naira in some states, with Plateau State selling at 537 per litre. The increase in the price of petrol has caused price of goods and services across the country to increase, leaving many lamenting the situation.
NSA is right, by threatening to go on strike as from Wednesday if the federal government does not do anything. After all, this thing is in favor, their strike action is in favor of the common masses.
Our expectations about fuel increment was a surprise, and it's still going to be a surprise. And then I am in full support of NLC going on strike on Wednesday.
To some extent, my opinion regarding the strike or industrial action is, I guess it will go a long way in showing the government the grievances of the Nigerian citizens, since everybody have been speaking one way or the other, but the government refused to listen.
The residents, however, asked the federal government to rethink its implementation strategy in order to ease the suffering of the common man in the country.
So my appeal to them, both the organized labor and the federal government, is that they should reach an amicable resolution so that that strike does not take place.
Yes, if the government can go ahead and then call NLC and sit down and make a consensus between NLC and government and then try to address the issue of increment. The issue was all about subsidy. All that we can know as a citizen, all I know is subsidy, subsidy, subsidy. But there is no any impact the subsidy removal has on the citizen. Though it has impact positively and negatively, but the most impact is negative.
The Labour leaders are insisting that unless the NNPCL reverses the new pump price for the premium motor spirit, the strike action will commence on Wednesday. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
In a related development, residents of Zamfara State are decrying the increase in the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy. According to them, the situation is aggravating the hardship they are already facing in the country. To this end, they want the government to implement policies that will cushion the effect of the subsidy removal on the masses. Here's that report.
The announcement of removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu's administration, which resulted in the increase in pump price of premium motor spirits (PMS), is impacting negatively on residents of Zamfara State in northwest Nigeria. A visit to Gusau Central Motor Park indicated that there were no much passengers compared to what it used to be prior to the announcement. When asked, some commercial drivers said it was due to the hike in pump price of fuel that led to the upward review of transport fares. The commercial drivers are lamenting that they are losing, saying they were loading 3,000 to Kano, but because of the increase in the price of petrol, they had increased the fare by 1,000 naira, adding that despite the slight increase, there are no passengers.
There are no passengers, but the price of fuel and other things have gone up. Before now, we were buying fuel at the rate of 210 naira per litre, but the price has now increased to 550 naira. We are charging each passenger 4,000 naira from Gusau to Kano. Even if a passenger were to pay 5,000 naira, it is still not okay compared to the price of fuel.
I just have station, I pay office, I pay I get tickets, I reach station, I pay. When I want to give them money for free, my hand is shake myself. To give the passenger, my hand is shake. When I get money free, I stay there, tell them, say, "Yalla be the company." I give them, I say, "The money for I think my hand is shake," and it must make about free.
They, however, appealed to the government to swiftly put in place measures to cushion the hardship on Nigerians, stressing that the situation is worrisome and needs to be addressed urgently.
So that's why we have taken government so that the thing is still out for us. May first solution before this end of the finish. If not for the solution, that one will be fact.
We want the government to look into the situation and see how they can make it easy for the masses.
Petrol is currently being sold at 540 naira at some filling stations in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital. Trust TV News observed that within Gusau metropolis, most of the filling stations were empty, not because they were not dispensing the product, but because of the hike in the pump price of PMS, which most persons cannot afford due to the economic situation in the country.
And still on the fuel subsidy, the subsidy removal has forced many residents of Osun State to adjust their lifestyle by cutting daily spending. They appeal to President Bola Tinubu to ensure that money recovered from the fuel subsidy removal is judiciously utilized. Hamidu Yegbadi files this report.
The impact of the fuel subsidy removal was felt by Nigerians across the country as it resulted into increase in the prices of commodities. Residents of Osun State lamented that the hike affects their businesses adversely as they recorded low patronage due to the sudden changes on the prices. They also said that the economic hardship occasioned by the hike has forced them to adjust their lifestyle, especially the aspects that involves fuel consumption.
Now, I have 2 cars. It's only 1 car that can come out now. So my wife can take my children to school. We can always go and pick them. Me also, I'll be able to use Okada now. I don't even have money to buy 500 per litre.
It affects me. Honestly, I won't lie to you because the price of everything has skyrocketed more than ×3. So everybody.
This car wash was always full of vehicles, but we have just washed 2 or 3 cars today. It is because of the current economic problem. Meanwhile, majority of people seemed to agree with President Tinubu on the need to remove the subsidy.
Subsidy was removed and the general population, the masses, did not feel the positive impact. But don't let us be panic. as far as the personality of the new president is concerned, I know he understands the economy, he understands the terrain.
For me, the removal of subsidy is okay. What the government should do is to assuage the workers by improving the minimum wage. The minimum wage is for the workers. It is still over on the marketplace, but definitely, it's the best decision in the last half a century in Nigeria.
Nigerians appealed to the president to ensure that the money recovered is judiciously utilized to make the country better. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
In the meantime, a federal high court has granted a temporary order restraining the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress from embarking on strike against fuel subsidy removal until final determination of the suit brought before it by the federal government. Justice O.Y. Onuye, who gave the ex parte order, held that Section 16 and 19A of the National Industrial Act 2006 empowered the court with exclusive jurisdiction to grant an order restraining any individual or body from taking part in strike or industrial action. The judge ordered that parties be served immediately and adjourned the matter to Monday, June 19th for hearing of the substantive matter. Discussion between government and the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress on the removal of petroleum subsidy has resumed on Monday at the presidential villa. NLC President Joe Ajaero and members of his national executive arrived at the villa around 5 o'clock in the evening for the meeting. The newly appointed Chief of Staff to the President, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, is attending the meeting, which also has the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari. The meeting, the second within a week, is coming 48 hours ahead of the planned nationwide strike by the NLC over the removal of subsidy. The NLC has previously withdrawn from further negotiation with government until NNPCL reverts to previous fuel price. The resumed negotiation is seen as government's move to avert the planned nationwide strike billed to commence on Wednesday. The leadership of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, had on Sunday met with the federal government committee and presented a list of demands before the government, the top of which is an increase in the minimum wage and a reversal to the old pump price while negotiations are ongoing. The series of meetings came in the wake of a hike and shortage of fuel across the country following President Tinubu's Inauguration Day declaration that subsidy on the product is gone. The Kwara State government has approved a temporary palliative measure to bring some ease to workers following the removal of petrol subsidy by the federal government. The state head of service, Susan Modupe Oluwole, made the announcement on Monday in a statement by the Chief Press Secretary, Murtala Toyebi Oluwole. He noted that Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak had directed that the work days be reduced from 5 to 3 days per week for every worker, according to the head of service. She directed all heads of ministries, departments, and agencies in the state to immediately work out a format indicating the alternating work days for each worker under them. The head of service, Oluwole, however, warned workers not to abuse the magnanimity of the governor, stressing that the regular monitoring of MDAs by her office will be intensified to ensure strict compliance. A federal high court in Abuja on Monday awarded a 10 million naira fine against former State Minister of Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, for filing a frivolous suit against the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, in the February 25th election. Justice James Omotosho, in a ruling, awarded a 5 million naira fine each in favor of Abubakar and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, against Keyamo. The order followed an oral application by counsel for Atiku, Benson Igbanoy, and that of the ICPC, Oluwakemi Odogun, asking for cost after the matter was dismissed. Keyamo instituted the suit based on claims by one of Abubakar's aides, Michael Achimugu, that between 1999 and 2007, as Vice President Atiku conspired with ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo to rip off the country using what he termed special purpose vehicles. But Atiku, through his lawyer, filed a notice of preliminary objection seeking for an order dismissing the suit for being incompetent, lacking locus standi, wanting of jurisdiction, and for non-disclosure of reasonable cause against him. The judge said it was unheard of that a citizen would give statutory agencies 72 hours to investigate and prosecute an alleged offense. Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja has discharged and acquitted a former head of service of the Federation, Steve Orosanye, of the 190 million naira corruption charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Justice Ekwo discharged Orosanye from the fraud charges due to want of merit in the allegations against him. Delivering judgment on Monday, Justice Ekwo held that EFCC failed to provide enough evidence to warrant Orosanye's conviction. The former head of service of the Federation was arraigned alongside one Osarenkwe Afe on a 49-count charge that was later reduced to 22. The FCC alleged that the defendants had between 2010 and 2011 used some firms to divert public funds through procurement fraud. But Justice Ekwo held that the anti-graft agency failed to supply the court with ingredients that could establish the alleged corruption charges against Orasanye. You're watching NewsHour on Trust TV, and coming up after the break, we take a look at the need for a serene and conducive reading environment. Do stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. President Tinubu tasks security and intelligence agencies to share information as clash has left one person dead and military vehicle burnt in Jos. And court restrains NLC from embarking on strikes while labor leaders are in Aso Rock to resume negotiation. I'm moving to other stories now. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has received in audience the former governors of Rivers and Ebonyi State, Nyesom Wike and David Umahi, respectively, as well as Senator Godswill Akpabio, the All Progressive Congress anointed candidate for the Senate presidency. This is the second time the former Rivers State governor will be visiting the president in 72 hours. The agenda for this visit is unclear, but it may be connected with the leadership of the 10th Assembly that will be inaugurated this month. Upper Sharia Court sitting in Bauchi State has adjourned the case of Imam Idris Abdulaziz Dutsentanshi to 19th of June 2023 to determine the preliminary objection on the jurisdiction of the court to entertain the case against the accused. The presiding judge, Hussaini Turaki, had earlier ruled for a bench warrant to Abdulaziz for refusal to appear at the first hearing. Adamu Imam was at the court proceeding and monitored the development.
The presiding judge appreciated the defense counsel for making sure the accused appeared before the court with proven evidence of his medical report earlier announced as reason for being absent at the last sitting. Although Traki says the court cannot rule based on speculation, adding that accepting the applications by the defense counsel that the Sharia court allegedly belonged to the Tariqa sect is capable of obstructing justice to the accused person, since it is a religious case. However, the prosecution counsel declined comments shortly after the proceeding, while the defense counsel gave more insight on the matter.
The bone of contention as to the allegation against Malam Idris Abdulaziz is that he says that he is not in need of help from anybody, including the prophets. Because once you are looking for help, you are only to ask from God. It is only the Almighty Allah that can give you help, especially when you are in need. And then the other people from the other sect says that that statement is blasphemous against the prophets. Therefore, it can constitute an abuse of the prophets, and again, is capable of inciting disturbance in the public.
Abubakar also shed light on the preliminary objective served them by the prosecution counsel just 10 minutes before the commencement of the hearing.
The order given for his arrest, which the court said it reserved it ruling to the next adjourned date. And we also had an argument. They says that they want the case to be mentioned, the plea of the accused person should be taken, and we say it should not because we already filed a notice of preliminary objection, contending that the court has no powers to adjudicate over the allegation against our clients. Then the prosecution says that the case must be mentioned before it can be adjourned for the hearing of our appeal.
The defense counsel said they will study the objection put forward before the next sitting, hoping that at the end justice will prevail in favor of their client. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
In the meantime, an Abuja magistrate court sitting in Zuba on Monday ordered for the report about the mental status of a Labour Party supporter, Obiajulu Uja, who protested the inauguration of the then president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Uja caused a stir at the Abuja airport when he voiced out some sensitive pronouncements, insisting that Tinubu should not be sworn in. In a resumed sitting Monday, Magistrate Abdulaziz Mohammed ordered for the submission of result about the mental state of the defendant before adjourning to the next sitting. The court had earlier issued an order for a 1-month medical observation of the accused at Kuje Correctional Center, where he is being detained. There was disruption by the accused throughout Monday's sitting as he kept arguing with the magistrate who was reading the court order. Officials had taken him outside the courtroom after a 1-hour struggle to stabilize him. He was later ordered into a waiting van until the next sitting. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of hastily declaring President Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential election, despite obvious irregularities in the election. The party made the accusation at the ongoing sitting of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja. At Monday's sitting, the court also admitted more exhibits from the Labour Party. Newell Sampson has more.
Counsel to the PDP, Mike Ozokome, SAN, who accused INEC of hasty declaration of the then APC candidate and now President Bola Tinubu as winner of the presidential election, said there is evidence to show that the commission ran foul of the law. He said this while addressing newsmen shortly after Monday's sitting of the tribunal.
This did creditably well, the 4 of them, added to the earlier 6, making 10 witnesses we have so far called. They all testified to what they saw, the gravity of the infractions and mishaps that took place during the 25th February 2023 presidential elections. So generally, the thrust of our case today was that the INEC was hasty and wrong in declaring Tinubu the winner of the elections, because every evidence shows that he did not win. That is our case today. 4 witnesses testified along that line.
Counsel to Labour Party, who gave an update of what transpired in court, also hailed the improved level of cooperation INEC with the Labour Party team.
For today, at least I was lucky today to have a bite. And for today, we were able to tender a total of 8 states. From EC8A for 8 states. I tendered 5, while Dr. Azinge tendered 3. Out of the 5, my own state, Imo State, was one of those that at least I tendered their election results for 8 states, from EC8A. So tomorrow we continue from EC8B and C, and like that. So the objection by INEC is more like a statutory kind of objection. They're just trying to play safe. There's no harm in that. INEC has improved in their cooperation. Substantial documentation has been availed, while about 20% now are still outstanding. I think about 20% thereabout. I'm not exactly sure. I know not all, particularly the issue of beavers. They have not been able to give us proper cooperation on that. We need to have access to the beavers using our IT team to extract information. Even if the deleted information contained in the beavers, there's a procedure of extracting it. So it's for them to avail us that opportunity, and then the rest will be done in court.
Meanwhile, the cases have been adjourned to Tuesday, 6th of June, 2023. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Thugs suspected to be supporters of the All Progressives Congress APC on Monday attacked a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party PDP, Segun Showunmi, and other loyalists of the party at the commencement of the Ogun State Petition Tribunal sitting in Sabo, Abeokuta. The PDP governorship candidate Ladi Adebutu had filed a petition against the victory of Governor Dakwa Abiodun of the APC at the March 18th election. However, political thugs stormed the venue of the tribunal and attacked perceived opponents, while police officers and other security agents watched. Here's that report.
Reacting to his attack at the tribunal, the former spokesman of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Segun Showunmi, called on the President of Court of Appeal to relocate the tribunal to Abuja. Showunmi, who spoke shortly after he was attacked, urged on President Bola Tinubu to prevail on Governor Dapo Abiodun to call his supporters to order.
So our position is that the President of the Court of Appeal, in his wisdom, should please relocate the Ogun State Tribunal from Abeokuta because it's no longer safe, so that we can go and have that tribunal in the peaceful atmosphere of Abuja, and everybody can have the case adjudicated and we can deal with the outcome of the court cases.
At the court proceedings, the chairman of three-man tribunal, Justice Amidu Kunaza, says they received 4 petitions, disclosing that 2 of the petitions have been struck out. Kunaza, who won the legal teams of both All Progressives Congress, APC, and People's Democratic Party, PDP, not to mislead the court, as well as adopt delay tactics in the proceedings, urged them to cooperate with the tribunal. The legal teams of the APC and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, demanded for more time to reply to the issues of determining PDP's petition.
We are challenging by this petition the unlawful return of the second respondent by INEC in this matter. We have seen so many infractions, and you will recall that from day one, we challenged the manner in which the second respondent was returned, even when in over 99 polling units, elections did not hold. We felt that that was very, very wrong.
Well, there were 2 cases, one by AA, which you have just finished. They have indicated their interest in withdrawing the petition. We welcome the withdrawal, right step in the right direction. So it was adjourned till Wednesday for the motion to withdraw. The other one is the one, PDP one, which has started off, and we had pre-hearing session during which some of such plenary issues were resolved. But we are coming back again next week to argue some motions which deal with objections, why some of the paragraphs in the reply should be taken out, or why the motion itself is incompetent.
However, the court adjourned the case to June 13th for continuation of airing.
Away from election tribunals, we go to a story on the federal capital. Abuja is not just Nigeria's political capital, it is the fastest growing city where many believe things happen and one can make fortunes easily. Kabiru Lawan meets a Fulani man who came from Niger Republic in search of greener pastures. Here's that report.
This is a typical day in Abuja, a building city attracting people from all directions. Malal Abdulmumin Yusuf sells ram at Maraba Market, and he came to Abuja to try his luck, having believed that Abuja is the land of opportunity for people. In Niger, to be precise, and we have been here for years. Abuja has become a home for me and my family. I rear and sell goats, sheep, though Abuja is expensive. But if you are working, you will be comfortable. But if you are not, the situation and the nature of the town will tell on you. I came from far north and I've been in Abuja for quite some times now. I hawk because I don't want to steal or become a beggar in the FCT. It's not easy though, but if you are determined, you will achieve your set objectives. The stories of people like Abdulmumin Yusuf are many. Little wonder the population of the capital city is growing beyond imagination. Some residents say life in Abuja is not all bed of roses, as one must struggle to make ends meet.
Most people out there, they believe once you come to Abuja, it's very easy to make it. You understand? That's why most of us, or most people you are seeing around, coming with the mindset of making it, you know how life it is generally everywhere. So Abuja being the federal capital territory is like a sure bet for anybody coming over that this is the mindset, this is it, I'm going to make it over here.
You know, one thing is Abuja is designed for civil servants because it's the capital city. Okay, so in view of this, if you have nothing to do around offices or government parastatals, the next option for you is maybe an artisan. So these are the two likely people that can survive in Abuja.
Though many districts and satellite towns were created to accommodate more people, the capital city is still crowded with more people coming to settle in the city, considered to be land of opportunity, being the political seat and seat of power.
This is the Federal Capital Territory. It is also known as the Power City or the land of opportunities, where people from all walks of life have come to make ends meet. Reporters also indicate that the government and well-to-do meaningful individuals to try to make it their responsibility of enabling the youth, creating an enabling environment for youth, not only to contribute their own quota to the just Federal Capital Territory, but the country as a whole. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The war in Sudan is currently affecting the airlift of intending pilgrims for this year's pilgrimage to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Intending pilgrims from Nigeria are groaning over the additional 4 to 7 hours they need to fly as a result of the closure of land, sea and airspace in Sudan en route to Saudi Arabia. According to them, the crisis may scale up the prices of animals used for sacrifice during the pilgrimage. Sharif Al-Hassan takes a look at the airlift from Ola International Airport to Medina.
The most anticipated day for Adamawa State intending pilgrims has come, as the state's Pilgrims Welfare Commission will be airlifting 475 out of 2,574 intending pilgrims to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
The intending pilgrims were subjected to rigorous screening before boarding at the instance of the Executive Secretary of the Adamawa State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Commission, Malam Abubakar Salih, board members and Amirul Hajj team. One after the other, they boarded in an orderly manner and sat on their various seats in a state of joy and deep sense of fulfillment of being part of this year's pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Malam Hamidu Sule is one of such pilgrims who is excited to embark on this holy journey. The Executive Secretary of the Commission, Malam Abubakar Salihu, and Amirul Hajj, Dr. Abdul Hafiz Inwa, says they are committed at ensuring every intending pilgrim is airlifted to Saudi Arabia, while thanking Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintri for the support and commitment for his administration towards the welfare of pilgrims.
Alhamdulillah, we are prepared. As you can see, everything that we require for airlift, we have met.
After all the necessary protocols, the intending pilgrims depart Yola International Airport at about 9:30 p.m. and arrived Medina safely after 7 hours flight instead of 4 hours due to the Sudan crisis at Prince Mohammed bin Abdul Aziz International Airport, Medina.
Or rather, the conflict in Sudan would definitely affect this year's pilgrimage, not in the sense of it, but now from Yola to Medina, it takes you 7 hours instead of 4.5 hours. So it affects the pilgrims. And also, I foresee a situation where animals for Hadaya, the prices may go up.
Those who arrive the city of the Prophet are filled with joy and admiration of the serenity and rich Islamic heritage of Madinatul Munawwara.
Madinatul Munawwara is serene. People like to be in Medina because of its serenity and also its peaceful atmosphere, and the people of the city are friendly. And moreover, you are in the city of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so as a Muslim, you feel fulfilled.
For now, the 475 Adamawa intending pilgrims have arrived and settled in the holy city of Medina as we await the arrival of others who will be joining them, and of course, other intending pilgrims from across Nigeria in the holy city of the Prophet. Now, what is much more important for pilgrims or during pilgrim stay here in this city is that they will be visiting some basic Islamic holy sites, most especially the Grand Mosque of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam here in Medina, the Quba Mosque, the dead farm of the Holy Prophet, and of course, other important Islamic landmarks.
Thank you, Sharif Al-Hassan. And now to libraries. Users of public libraries in Nigeria say providing a serene and conducive environment for reading will change the declining culture, especially in the digital era. They speak against the backdrop of deteriorating state of public libraries, recording low numbers of readers at most of the facilities in the Federal Capital Territory. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman now reports.
Prior to the emergence of internet, which makes it possible for readers to access e-books beyond boundaries in the comfort of their homes, public libraries served as hubs for the growing reading population. Ironically, some of the public libraries visited in Abuja are witnessing huge decline in patronage.
It's not everything that you read through the online platform, but most of the research are being done on the rebook.
Few users who hold on to the fading habit of reading in public libraries are divided over their seeming obsession with the old culture.
Because you cannot just get everything online. When you come to the library, you have varieties of books written by different persons, so you can always have the opportunity to make research from different angles.
Because I love the environment, the serene environment, and as you can see, there is light and AC.
Well, when you come to the library, you're more likely to concentrate than when you're on your phone or on internet. And there is a lot of distraction of stuff today.
Millions of readers now browse through the internet to access literatures of different kinds without necessarily going to the libraries. This trend, experts say, contributes to the decline in reading culture, especially amongst students.
Government, NGOs, all structures of organizations, they should all work towards establishing library in every local government, in every area councils. Let there be a library.
They call for improved funding for public libraries to enhance the environment with a view to encouraging the reading public in addition to restocking the existing shelves.
As you can see behind me, and of course looking at the array of books here in the shelves, on the shelves, of this library, that appeal to virtually all fields of human endeavor. And the neatly arranged seats here for prospective readers. Only 2 persons were found here reading, holding on to the old reading culture coming to the library. This speaks volumes to the concerns regarding the declining reading culture among Nigerians. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Thank you, Shafiu, for bringing us up to date on public libraries and the deteriorating reading culture. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. We'll be back after the break. Do stay.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
This is Trust TV News Hour. Time now to join Yusuf Akobu for business news.
The International Air Transport Association IATA on Sunday warned that rising levels of block funds constitute a threat to airline connectivity in the affected market. IATA Director General Will Walsh disclosed it at the 79th IATA Annual General Meeting and World Air Transport Summit. He said airlines cannot continue to offer services in markets where they are unable to repatriate the revenue arising from their commercial activities in those markets. The industry block fund have increased by 47% to $2.27 billion in April, from $1.55 billion in April 2022. The top 5 countries which account for 68% of block funds are Nigeria, leading with $812.2 million, Bangladesh $214.1 million, Algeria $196.3 million, Pakistan $188.2 million, and Lebanon $141.2 million. 11 Nigerian banks listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange collectively earned 307.472 billion naira from electronic business transactions in 2022. This signifies a 7% growth in e-business income compared to the previous year's figure of 287.429 billion naira. Based on the figures obtained from the bank's audited financial year 2022 report, United Bank for Africa, UBA, and Access Holdings PLC earned the most from the electronic business during the period under review. Income encompasses revenue generated through electronic channels, card products, mobile applications, USSD channels, automated teller machines, ATMs, agency banking, internet banking, and point-of-sale payments, POS. Oil prices rise on Monday as Saudi Arabia agreed to cut its oil output by 1 million barrels per day from next month. The announcement followed a meeting of the oil cartel, OPEC Plus, on Sunday. The measure, which Riyadh said could be extended beyond July, comes as oil prices are declining due to a weakened global economy. Yusuf Akogu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
Away from Nigeria, at least 7 schoolgirls who were going to take college entrance exams on Monday drowned after their canoe capsized on the Niger River near the town of Kurusa in Upper Guinea. The Minister of Pre-University Education and Literacy, Gilame Howing, who is in the region to launch the first tests of the examination said they boarded an overloaded canoe which capsized under the weight of passengers and goods. The girls all came from Kurala district and were going to Balato sub-prefecture, 40 kilometers from Kurusa prefecture. Reports say the toll is only provisional and could be heavier as operations to find bodies continue. And in sports, football fans have been reacting to Nigeria's Flying Eagles' exit at the ongoing Under-20 World Cup in Argentina after they were knocked out at the quarter-final stage. In a game with few thrills, South Korea took advantage of the one-goal lead they had in extra time to make the difference and beat Nigeria by the minimum. Back home, Nigerians have continued to express disappointment with the exit, as Jimmy Azande reports from Makurdi.
The outcome of the game was a disappointment for football fans in Benue who had high hopes that having ousted the host nation, the team would go beyond the quarter-final stage. Some blame the technical team for inability of the Nigerian squad to conquer the Koreans.
We have to address it from the tactical angle of the management crew, which is led by Ladan Boso, who could not manage the technical ability that was expected of him when the game got into extra time, where he would have employed that technical know-how where it used to count, as in maybe dragging the match into at least penalty, which is nobody's game anyway.
Others argued that the players did their best, but since there must be a winner, the better side emerged victorious.
We have gone a long way, and our boys played very well. They played better than the Korean team yesterday. But as, let me say, fate will have it, at the end of the day, we lost. It was almost to the end of the game.
If the boys are kept together to form the senior national team tomorrow, we will have no problems with Nigerian football. It's just that our system here is very bad. Now, after this exit of these boys, you will see that they were all dispersed. Nobody will know where they are again.
They identify some of the challenges confronting the Nigerian Football Federation.
So I think it's another opportunity for him to maybe come again and then regenerate Nigerian youthful age at that under-20 level, where by maybe the next edition of the World Cup, he will now make amends from what cost him yesterday, if at all he's been maintained as the under-20 coach.
The main issue is the issue of funding and the issue of corruption. People feel that if they're given a position, what they should do is to think about themselves and not what they will achieve.
Our NFF should be up and doing. There is a lot of corruption in this country. The NFF, not aside. They are there too, because we have even learned that they are on the players and the coaches and everybody, the whole of last year or this year, so they have not been paid, which is very bad. Is it that
this is the third time the under-20 squad have been eliminated at quarter-final stage in the World Cup. Nigerians are hopeful that the new government will improve the sports sector, which in itself is a major employer of labor.
Nigerians don't like losing at all. We all become analysts. And with that, we have come to the end of the Trust TV News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and our YouTube live stream. My name is Eugenia Abu. On behalf of the team, we thank you for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.